Hey guys, here we go into a film study on Usyk versus Mairis Briedis, arguably what should have been the World Boxing Super Series finale in terms of skill. I think that Usyk or Briedis versus Gassiev is a more fun fight to watch. It's going to be like more exciting, but this fight is definitely hands down the best fight in the Super Series. Actually, I really liked the Lebedev version where he did his best Usyk impression. And basically what we're going to be looking at is the tactics that Lebedev used. And he didn't have to use very many to beat or to arguably beat or to have such a close fight with Gassiev. We're going to be looking at the things that he does in his fight with Briedis, or what he did with Gassiev, and how the similarities are going to kind of roll over into Usyk's fight with Briedis. So we're going to be looking at the way that if he controls the space, how often he moves off the line, and we're going to notice a lot of moving off the line towards the right, moving towards Usyk's right, and we're going to look for whether or not Briedis uses the same left hook to catch Usyk to the body as Gassiev did to Lebedev, and then we're going to see if Usyk is able to make any adjustments. We're going to be looking at how active his guard is, how active Mairis Breidis' guard is, if he's sitting on the line, how often he eats straight punches for not moving. We're going to kind of talk about this stuff as we go on, but let's go ahead and get into it. Whoops. So right away, Usyk coming in and feinting low, right? Immediately, what he's doing is looking to gain information on his opponent, right? Now, all that Briedis learns is that Usyk might be jabbing to the body, right? But Usyk saw, oh, if I feint to the body with my lead hand, Mairis Briedis is going to bring his lead hand down, circle it out, and try to parry the jab to the body. So that's already something that Usyk has learned 1 second into the fight with Mairis Briedis. Probing, controlling the space, video freezing, slipping to the outside, right? Testing Mairis Briedis, and really interesting. This might be a really long film study, you guys. I apologize. You'll know because you'll see in the thumbnail how long the video is. I don't know yet because I haven't made the video yet. But this is a very, very, very technical fight between Mairis Briedis, and it's going to be interesting because we're going to get to see so much of the depth of knowledge of Usyk because Mairis Briedis really tests him, and he tests him in ways that I don't think Gassiev is going to be able to. But right there, whoops, oh, come on, video. I need to find a better video program. This laggy-ass VLC is just not cutting it anymore. But look at how he slips to the outside, and Mairis Briedis puts all his weight on his right leg and kind of ducks down. We'll see if he uses that information later. Great probing, great control of the space between him and Briedis. And beautiful, right? Jabbing at the arm, probing, and stepping in with the jab. Now, this is something that I think might get him in some trouble. Now, he does do a good job of stepping to the outside of Mairis Briedis, right? Boom. And still landing his jab, which is no easy feat because when you jab at the southpaw, right, or at the southpaw, you're jabbing at his chin and his glove. His hand is just directly in the line of where the punch is coming. But he managed to sneak it in there without the kind of telegraphed flaw of stepping to the inside to land the jab, which is really interesting. But if you notice right here, look at how he feints with his step, right? Step, step. And Mairis Briedis is going to pick up on this if I remember correctly. Usyk doing a very good job right there, controlling him. Boom. And then what happens right here? Mairis Briedis is the same thing that Usyk just did to him. He's able to take the lead foot dominance, slip under the jab, and shoot his own jab into Usyk's punch. And that's off of the timing that Usyk is using to control the space between them. As you see, he feints here, and he starts sticking his lead hand out, and he makes Briedis think, or Briedis makes him think that they're going to touch gloves and control the gloves together, and he is able to shoot that punch under Usyk's jab. Now, that's going to be really interesting later because he's already starting to time that lead hand of Usyk. And it shows a wealth of knowledge in how important lead hand control is. And you're going to see, as the fight goes on, that Usyk, again, probing, and then when he extends his hand out there, Mairis Breidis slips it, boom, and shoots a straight left hand right on the chin of Usyk. Mairis Breidis showing that he's very smart. He has a very high-level understanding of the lead hand control. But Usyk, going back to it, he understands that even though he's gotten hit twice using lead hand control, he cannot lose this game. If he loses this part of the game, he's going to wind up in the same situation that Gassiev was in against Lebedev, where Lebedev has all the control and he's able to kind of land power punches or throw combinations at will, even though Gassiev may have had the more impressive punches, and that might be what skewed some of the rounds that he won to his favor because they're bigger punches. Lebedev had control of his opponent for more of the fight, more of each round, and landed more punches, I believe. But I didn't look at the CompuBox, but just from what I've seen. But Usyk understands he needs to continue to fight with this lead hand. Control the lead hand, pushing it. You can see as he touches gloves here, and he pushes his opponent's glove off. And then beautiful, feints him when he starts stepping in right there. Control him, testing him. And then as soon as he gets Usyk, as soon as he gets Breidis to keep his hands at home, right, into the high guard, he starts stepping, shooting the jab, and then he just continues to follow him around because he has control of him, right? He's controlling that lead hand. He knows that there's nothing that Breidis can really do without the control of his lead hand, so he just follows him right there and tries to get him to make a mistake. Breidis does a great job of moving off the line and not making a mistake, but Usyk doing the right thing and continuing to look for information from Breidis. And there you go, he gets him into the high guard again, and then is able to shoot the jab to the body. Great lead hand control again. This is going to be something that's very difficult for Gassiev to deal with. And here, right here, this is exactly why having control of your opponent's lead hand is so important. He goes to control it right as Breidis is looking to jab with him, and he's able to completely control that shot and then move back and then control him again to stop that from even being a real punch. And that was an opportunity that Breidis was looking to time him on to land that shot. If my video will continue to unfreeze, apologize. But beautiful right here. Then Breidis coming forward, and beautiful defense right here. How Usyk is layering his defenses. This is going to be so effective against Gassiev, who has a very limited style of offense. But he's probing, and look at how Breidis is coming forward, and as soon as Breidis starts setting up his shots, Usyk just sticks his lead hand out there to control him and make him work around that lead hand, and then he has to slip to this way, and then he shoots forward and throws that right hand. But Usyk understands, because he's controlling him with the lead hand, that he's not in any danger, and he's able to easily stay calm. And that's one of the most important things to remember, you know. And if you're not a fighter and you've never fought in the ring with anybody, when you have lead hand control, there's just this, all of that uncertainty about what's happening in the fight and what your opponent has the opportunity to do. It's all gone. It's all gone. You know, you might still be like, have that, like, those jitters, you know, because you're afraid to get hit in the face, or, you know, you don't want to get dropped, you don't want to make a mistake, you know, whatever it is. But you have so much control over your opponent, and as soon as you realize it, a lot of that stuff just dissipates. And that's why Usyk is able to be so calm, is because he understands how to control his opponent. Feinting, and he's figured out that Breidis isn't countering him anymore, right? He's doing a good job of controlling him, and look at how, oh man, I missed it. He probes right there, and when he probes, Breidis starts to take lead foot dominance just like he did before, but Usyk shoots that right hook to catch him if he's going to throw a punch, showing that he's already picking up on Breidis's counter control, timing those jabs. Now again, another problem that Usyk has, stepping with his jab, and Breidis is easily able to slip under it and then land, you know, not the greatest punches, right? They're kind of pushed punches, but timing him, not really landing the body shot, kind of a scraping right hook. But that's not the point, right? The point is not that the punches weren't any good. The point is that he was able to time them and get the scoring part of his glove onto Usyk without Usyk really being able to do anything. And and that's because of the fact that Usyk steps with his jab, and as you see right here, even when he steps to the outside, right, he steps right there, and Usyk is able to time him off that, or Briedis is able to time him off that step, take the lead foot dominance, very similar to Lomachenko, and then start throwing punches at him. And we'll see where Usyk goes there with that. But again, Usyk steps with the jab, and then Briedis catches and counters with the catch and counter style, and is able to catch him circling out to his right. But Usyk is going to make a really great adjustment soon. There you go. This is really interesting. He catches Briedis stepping with his jab on that timing. He gets kind of thrown off balance, but he tries to take lead foot dominance off of Briedis's jab. You know, just working on the timing at the moment. But we'll see where he goes with it later. Again, some good probing jabs to the gloves to keep Briedis off of balance. But it looks like Briedis is kind of winning this round very easily. Again, some decent probing, right? And this off of this probing style, right? Where he's got him into the high guard. When Briedis doesn't counter, when Briedis gives up lead foot dominance, Usyk understands that, hey, this is my opportunity to throw punches. And this is also a pattern that Gassiev uses, because Gassiev actually doesn't counter, you know, hardly at all, especially against Lebedev, where he kind of just goes into his high guard, and that allows Usyk right here, or in this case, or in that case, it was Lebedev. But if Lebedev or if Gassiev uses the same kind of style, it just allows his opponents to open up and throw more punches. And the reason that that's important to talk about is not because necessarily those punches land, but if Usyk is throwing those punches while Gassiev is not throwing punches, that means that Usyk has control of the round for more time than Gassiev does, which means that he's likely going to be ahead in the round. In this case, it's a bad example because Usyk is pretty far behind in the round right now. Great shot right there, timing him, shooting that jab. I don't know if it lands, but doing a good job. Oh, it does land. Doing a good job of setting his offense up and trying to find a timing on Usyk. And now this right here is something that, now look at the difference between the technique that Lebedev uses and Usyk uses when he dips that way, right? He moves all the way out there, and then he doesn't just come up right where he was, right, where his left leg was, and keep his weight on his left leg and pivot, but look where his heel is and look where his toe is. Boom. And he pivots, and look at how far out he winds up. This is going to be very important for Gassiev, because that was probably the best punch that he was able to land in the fight, is that left hook to the body. But Usyk already showing that it may not be as effective for Gassiev against Usyk as it was for him against Lebedev. Again, beautiful control, right? Controlling him while Briedis is looking to move forward. Now, well, I'll talk about it. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Oh. Notice that Mairis Briedis, he hasn't landed any punches of his own. You know, the only punch that he's landed off of his own setup, his own punching, his own offense, has been that one jab where Usyk dipped to the outside. All of the opportunities that Briedis has really come forward to throw punches, Usyk has been easily able to control, right? So he shoots this jab here, right? And then Briedis looks like he's going to counter, right? Briedis takes that step, and he immediately controls those gloves. He sees that jab coming, and then what does he do? He immediately takes a step back and starts circling. Briedis is coming forward, probing, and Usyk is slipping, right? Moving, transitioning his weight, and then immediately, as soon as he starts getting out of position, right? He knows he's out of position here. He immediately moves off the line. Brilliant defense. Now, I was actually doing, and for anyone who's interested, I was actually doing a Skype call today with one of my viewers who was really interested in showing me his tape and his shadow boxing, and getting some kind of coaching feedback. If anybody's interested in that kind of stuff, let me know, and maybe we can set up a time in which I can talk to you about your technique or this or that or whatever, and do some kind of coaching stuff. If you're interested, let me know. maybe we can work something out. I can watch your tape and kind of talk to you and coach you. But this is exactly what I was telling him to work on in his shadow sparring, is not getting stuck on the line, right? And now I talked to him about it, and I said, whenever you're shadow boxing, you only really want to commit to one offensive or defensive posture before you move off the line. So you're going to be there, right? And say you throw like a jab, like a 1, 2, 3, right? You go boom, boom, right? And you're not going to commit your weight to these shots, right? These are your setup shots, boom, boom. And then you throw that left hook, right? Bam, bam, boom. And then you transfer all your weight to your right leg. Now from here, there are two options, right? You can commit to another shot, boom, right? Which is kind of impractical because you're just throwing your weight around, right? And you don't want to throw your weight around and stay on the line because now your opponent has the same opportunity to hit you that you had to hit them. Except that they don't have to set their punch up because you're sitting on the line for them, right? They don't have to do any work except for maybe eat that first left hook. But what you want to do, boom, boom, and then you want to, after you transition your weight, because you don't on the first two, you want to move off the line, right? So you turn all your weight here, boom, and then you pivot off the line, and then you go to control them. And it's the same thing if you're defending yourself, right? There was a video I did talking about layering your defense where Mayweather sits on the ropes, doing all this stuff, boom, turn. And then Maidana feints him with a left hook to the body right here, and Mayweather blocks it perfectly, but it was really just disguised this right hand over the top, right? And what Mayweather does is he gets caught here, and instead of realizing that this was a feint, he stays on the line, right, and attempts to just roll the next shot, but because it was a feint, he's already out of position, right? So he needs to do this and then move off the line because he's committed to a defensive posture, transition his weight to his left leg, and then he needs to move off the line. And because he doesn't, he winds up getting caught with the punch. But what you can see Usyk doing here is as soon as he gets out of position, he moves all the way off the line, and then Breidis did all of that work, did all of this work right here, probe, 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 and got nothing out of it, right? The only opportunity that he's had to really set his shots up, and Breidis was out of position against the ropes, and now, or Usyk is out of position against the ropes, and now Usyk has complete command of the ring again. He's in the middle of the ring, and Breidis wasn't able to land any punches. Boom. Now, very interesting, Usyk starting to allow him to probe. Ooh. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this instead. Boom. So watch Usyk's foot, right? He steps to the inside, shoots that jab, and with the kind of catch and counter style, Breidis is able to start landing his punches. And again, this is not because Usyk's a bad fighter, but he's stepping with his jab so often that he's becoming really easy to time. Now, this might not be the case against Gassiev, but Gassiev is a smart fighter as well. I'm sure at some point he's going to be able to figure it out as well. But here, he steps with his jab, but he steps the other way, and as he steps back onto his right leg, he shoots his left leg. He shoots a combination at Gassiev or at Breidis. Why did it go so far back? I don't know sometimes. But he throws those punches off timing and is able to catch Breidis and kind of make him pay for those for that countering style, because it looks like, again, beautiful work. I'll kind of skip over that. I talked about it already. But probing, as soon as probe, he fakes him like it's going to be a left hand, right? And what does Usyk do immediately because he got feinted? He moves off the line, and that stops all of the work that Breidis has put into setting up his shot. And then again, Breidis timing him off that step and catching him with another shot. It looks like they trade jabs right there, but again, it's not super important. What's important is that Usyk is able to be timed off of this stepping with his jab. And I think Lebedev had a very similar style, and I don't think that Lebedev was timed off of it by Gassiev either. But I think we got 2 more rounds to do, so I'm going to try and get through them a little quicker. But again, I don't know how he caught him with that shot. Gosh darn it. Well, we'll just move on. But again, stepping with the jab, and then Mairis Briedis timing him and countering him to the body, making kind of easy work of him by that very easy timing. And this is really interesting because this is exactly what Golovkin did to David Lemieux to make David Lemieux such an easy fight. This is exactly how the rhythm went for Crawford and Julius Indongo, right? And Julius Indongo got smashed by Crawford. Horn had a very similar problem with stepping with his punches that made him easy to time too, that allowed Crawford to dominate him as well. So we're going to have to see how Usyk overcomes it, because obviously he wins the fight, right? But notice that Breidis having a very difficult time starting his own punches and literally only punching Usyk off of that timing. So this is actually something that I'm going to expect Gassiev to learn from his fight, watching this tape of Usyk, because this was such a close fight. I was supposed to talk something after the round. I don't remember what it is, so we're just going to move on. But we're going to go ahead and get into round 2. Whoops. Give me 1 second. Okay, getting back into round 2. Usyk comes out again. He's been getting timed by that lead hand and the fact that he steps with his jab so often. But notice, remember, Mairis Briedis has not been able to set up any punches against Usyk. Only one jab that I didn't really figure out if it was on the timing of him stepping with his back foot or what. But we're going to watch Usyk make an adjustment here, controlling him with the lead hand. And now look at how he waits for Briedis to control him with the lead hand and shoots a jab under him. Controlling him. Moving back, creating the space. Whoops, it was supposed to go back there. Boom. And then timing him. Really interesting. But deciding to shoot that jab. And I wonder what timing he decided to shoot that jab for. I haven't really paid that much attention to Mairis Briedis. But, man, great job right there from Usyk. Controlling him. And then he gets him to commit to a shot. And as soon as he starts taking lead foot dominance, boom, catches him with a right or a left hook kind of shot. And then what does he do right after he lands that shot? Right? And it's not the cleanest shot. It's kind of with the inside of the glove, right? But he moves off the line immediately and then goes to control him with his lead hand. But now he's allowing Briedis to be the one to lead because he was kind of getting, kind of pieced up off that timing because he only steps with his jab. Controls him. Okay. So controls him, and then Mairis Briedis looks to counter, right? And look at how wide he misses. Boom, and winds up getting pieced to the body. The reason that it looks like that is because Usyk controls him with this jab, and Mairis Briedis assumes that he was stepping with his jab and stepping in and goes to attack him and winds up missing completely. And Usyk is able to get off the line again because he's changed his timing. He's not stepping with the jab as much. Not stepping with the jab there. Beautiful work again. His opponent fades him out of position. Kind of lands looks like he kind of lands a left hook in there. Nah, I'm not sure it's a punch. It looks like a punch if you watch it in slow-mo. Kind of looks like a punch. No power on it. But he's able to move off the line and get away from that right hand. Oh, man. Great shot. Great shot from Usyk. So controls him with the lead hand. And then Briedis looks to counter off of that jab. But because Usyk is no longer stepping in with his jab, he goes back. He controls him. Finds his head right there. And is able to turn in. Oh, he missed. What? Man, did that look like a freaking huge punch or what? But he just completely whiffs it? Ooh, he does. Okay. But great job of him setting up the timing and working out how to get Briedis out of position first and to commit to those shots. I'm not sure if this next one misses or not, but he gets him to commit. Yeah, the next one misses too, and he looks like he kind of eats a right hand from Briedis. Really interesting stuff. Moves off the line, and there we go. The first body shot. And this is exactly what Usyk needs to worry about when fighting Gassiev. So probe, block removal, and then Gassiev, or not Gassiev, Breidis throws the right hand while Usyk is slipping to roll out of the way, but he's stuck on the line for a little too long and eats a body shot. Ooh, and then again, that catch and counter style where Usyk steps with the jab and then eats a counter straight left. Let's see where Usyk goes from here. Stuck on the line. That's exactly where he doesn't want to be with his opponent, but he is moving off the line, but Breidis is staying with him really well. Probe, control, probe, probe, and then lands a straight left hand. Oh man, it's kind of been a roller coaster. I'm not going to rewind that. And then Usyk goes on to the attack. Let's see. Boom. So, probe, steps. Does he step with the second one? Probe, and then steps with the... God damn it, I wasn't looking at his feet again. Probe, takes a small step. Okay. And then controls him. Boom. Good straight left hand right there. Set up with the jab to the body. Boom. Boom. Step to the inside, it looks like. Catching him with the jab. I don't know where this momentum shift kind of came from, to be honest. I kind of missed it because I thought Breidis was kind of catching up, you know. Maybe it's just he got tired for a second. You know, he didn't want to use too much energy. Comes forward. Boom. Eats a straight left hand. And this is really interesting because Breidis has had some pretty good head movement for the most part, you know. But look at how easily he's able to walk him into this straight left hand. Ooh. And then Breidis immediately returns the favor, slipping. Boom. And again, I'm not sure. I can't tell by his feet if Usyk is stepping with his jab right there. But this is all really fast-paced stuff at the moment. Usyk staying on the line with him. Exactly what he doesn't want to do with Gassiev because he's such a huge guy. As soon as he goes to set up his own punches, boom, immediately gets controlled. Great job right there. Slips to the inside, notices that his opponent is coming forward, probes, he's out of position, and he starts taking a step back and controlling him with the jab. Now, I wonder if this is something that he's figuring out right now, after he controls him, that he has control and then he starts shooting another shot, right? Because he, boom, catches him with that second jab, and he wasn't doing that before. Oh, interesting. Probing with the jab and stepping with it, but really waiting for him and waiting for his reaction. Oh, great shot right there. Slips, moves off the line, and then goes for a body shot right there. It's a great body shot, too. Boom. I wonder what it is that... this is the point where I feel like I would have to go back and watch round one and the beginning of round two to figure out what incited this great body shot. But boom. Maybe he thought that he was going to shoot that straight left hand again. So he slips. Yeah, I think he thought he was going to shoot that straight right hand again. And so he went to slip that straight right hand and then throw a body shot. So Usyk picking up on those patterns again. Great work right here. Great boxing. Control, control. He understands that the only shot coming from him is going to be that right hand. He eats it to the body, though. Continues to control him, and then lands his own straight right or straight left hand, I think. Nah, questionable. But it's interesting that he... Whoops, did I go too far back? Boom. Yeah, this is just like a really high-level fight, man. It's actually like kind of hard to remember everything that's going on in the patterns, but Gassiev doing, or Breidis doing a really good job of picking up on that timing too. Probe, and then the next one being a jab Or is it here that he's expecting it to be a jab? Yeah, because I think that that's what it wound up being. But picking up on that timing and then throwing a shot on him. And again, I don't think that that's something that Gassiev knows how to do, is fight lead hand control and fight lead hand control timings, because Lebedev basically had control of him for most of the fight. Boom, great shot right there. Probing. So he probes, ducks, and starts rolling into that shot. And I think that that's the same timing that Usyk was seeing, where the probe comes and then he tries to land the straight left hand. Now that's very similar. That's a very similar timing to the, and I'll have to go back and watch it again, but that's a very similar timing to what Gassiev does, right? Probe with the lead hand, and then commit to his offense, right? And here we see Usyk able to kind of keep him on the outside using that timing. Not the greatest defense there, but at least he gets off the line. This is going to be a problem right here for Gassiev if he stays on the line with Usyk, and Usyk's able to throw hard punches in quick succession like that. Oh goodness, my video is just getting torn up right now. Boom. Oh man, again, Breidis picking up on that lead hand control, right, and able to time him. I wonder why Usyk is committing so much to these lead hands and why he's not probing as much. As you can see right there, stepping with the jab. There you go, decent maneuver. Shooting the probing shot, expecting the straight left hand or the straight right hand to come, and then off of being out of position, shoots his own straight left hand and then moves off the line. But he's kind of getting pieced up a little bit here. Very fast-paced fight, though. Very difficult to break down. Man, I wonder what it is that's causing him to sit on the line with Breidis here. Because as you can see, look at how Breidis is very patient probing style. Probe, probe, probe. And then he shoots that uppercut right here. Controls him. Throws that right hand through the guard and that left hook to the body. That's a lot of work, right? Probe, 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 right? Head movement, right? And then boom, he gets those free 2 punches because Usyk is out of position. You know, he allowed him to get too close to be able to control him, and then Usyk refused to move off the line for some reason. I wonder what it is that Usyk was thinking when he allowed Breidis to get so close. Oh my goodness, there's just so much going on here. Probe, probe, he slips, controls him, lands that body shot. Yeah, it looks like Breidis is kind of piecing Usyk up right now. Did most people think that Usyk won the fight? Let me know in the comments what you guys think, because again, steps. And then Usyk immediately looks like he's going to shoot. Yeah. So it looks like he's timing him just super well. And he's kind of refined that timing to when Usyk steps on with his back foot now. So he's picked it up. And he's really making Usyk pay for his offense. Let's see if it goes into the next round. We're going to do one more round. A lot of really interesting stuff. But my video is kind of lagging a little bit. Sorry. I'm having a hard time. Oh my goodness, come on, stop it. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, we're just going to watch it from here because I'm having a really hard time controlling my video. Controlling him with the lead hand, controlling him, keeping his distance. Great job moving out of the way of those shots. Doesn't land the body shot. Probing, probing. Gets him to commit to an outside head movement and then shoots the jab in there. Man, this is just so fast-paced, so much going on. You know, Gassiev is really going to have his work cut out for him against Usyk, and how active he is. Good job right there, avoiding any damage, slipping the shot. But he stayed on the line, and I don't think that that's going to be good for him against Gassiev. Stepping with the lead hand, flashing it, landing a body shot, probing, stepping. Okay, there we go. Stepping with the jab that time, and this time being easy to time and using head movement and then shooting his own straight left hand. So here he is in the third round making an adjustment to that timing because he's getting timed every time he steps down and he sets his feet down. Breidis is able to time him. So here he is making an adjustment. Does he get caught with another shot too? Kind of on the top of the head. Not any power into it, but... Free body shot right there. Again, really easy to time him. Boom. Waiting for him to step inside. Again, boom. Bam. All on that lead foot timing. I wonder when he's going to make another adjustment. Again, same thing. Steps with the lead hand. He catches the lead hand and then counters him with his own right hand. Very interesting. If Gassiev picks up on this timing as well, he might make quick work of Usyk too. Oh, there's an adjustment. Steps forward, and instead of shooting the jab, he shoots a straight left. Now, this is something that Usyk is going to have to do all night because Gassiev has very poor head movement, and this might be a huge source of offense for him. Let's see if he continues to use it in the third round. Again, stepping with the jab, giving away his timing, slipping that shot, and countering him with the right hook. Boom. Oh, and then Usyk says, "Oh, I know what you're doing," and comes back with his own counter. Does his land, though? Because they look flashy. Yeah, it looks like it touches him. Yeah, it definitely catches him. But looking to take advantage of the counters that are coming, but not necessarily counter them. You know, I think Usyk needs to be going to the body instead because Breidis has really good head movement so far. Ooh, another sweeping left hand. And not too bad right there. Moves off the line before he really gets hit with any shots. Kind of gets caught with that cuffing left hand as Breidis is trying to keep him close to him. But again, man, Breidis steps in and starts getting countered. It kind of looks like Linares versus Lomachenko, right? Remember when Lomachenko would change levels on him, and then Linares would say, "Hey, that's when he's going to punch me." And then he would just start flurrying the very next time that Lomachenko did anything, and Lomachenko would kind of walk into punches. It's very similar because Usyk's not being outboxed. He's outboxing himself, you know. He's telling on himself with his timing, and he's giving Breidis all of these free opportunities by being easy to time. It's actually really fascinating. You're fine, big boy. Dude. Feinting, stepping. Not bad right there. Feint him, control him as soon as he starts setting some stuff up. Again, the same timing. Shoots that jab out there, and then Usyk gets countered. Ooh, probe. He gets him to commit to the shot first. And look at this. When he's able to make Mairis Breidis go first and just wait for him and allow Breidis to come to him, look at the kind of shots that he lands. Probing. He's able to remove all of the layers of his offense with this probing lead shot, gets him to commit to that shot first, and then beats him to the punch with a huge left uppercut right there. Now, that's going to be really interesting. I wonder how active of a role Usyk is going to have in the fight, or if he's going to allow Gassiev to come to him. Because, as we've seen, Gassiev has a very limited offense. And because of that limited offense, Lebedev was able to counter him quite well. And I think Usyk is a better, fights in a better style like this than Lebedev does. And again, allows him to come forward, right? Uses the lead hand to control him, gets him to go to the high guard, and then he steps in, shoots the straight right hand that's easily blocked because there are no feints, there are no like head movement, there's no he is not able to get Usyk out of position first, and then Usyk is easily able to catch and counter style and land a huge uppercut on him and really make Breidis pay for coming forward. Now it's just a matter of time before Usyk steps forward with his own jab and eats another big shot. Probe. Whoops, we went too far back. Boom. And now steps with his back foot. Probe comes out. Steps onto his back foot as he's probing. Boom. And Usyk lands a straight left hand. Now this is going to be a huge source of offense for Usyk if he uses it. And for his sake, hopefully he uses this early in the fight and doesn't rely on his stepping style. Especially because Abel Sanchez is so good at game plans. I know that he picked up on David Lemieux's stepping with the lead punch. I know he picked up on Canelo stepping on the lead foot to start his offense. And both of those people had a lot of problems with Golovkin, who was also Abel Sanchez's trainer. Golovkin, who was also trained by Abel Sanchez, sorry. So Abel Sanchez is going to be able to pick up on that stuff too. Excuse me. Great job right there from Breidis. And I don't know why Usyk is not controlling him with the lead hand, but as you can see, probing right hand to land that left hook to the body because he gets him to slip it, no power onto it, and then lands that left hand to the body, another probing right hand, then throws a left hook to the head. Great job from Mairis Breidis right there. Great job setting his shots up. But for some reason, Usyk not using the lead hand control all of a sudden. Ooh. Boom. Timing him with that straight left hand. Bam. Great job right there. What the hell happened there? Come on. Probe. He slips. Kind of eats that left hand. Misses his own. And my video freezes. And he kind of takes a right hook or so. But interesting fight so far. Usyk, it looks like, man, I didn't really score round 3. I think that Usyk won round 3, but it looked like Mairis Breidis won both rounds 1 and 2. So really interesting. I'll be doing rounds 4 and 5 tomorrow for sure, since these rounds weren't super clear, and we're going to have to look for an adjustment that Usyk makes before we talk a little bit more about the fight. But so far, Usyk, very easy to time on his lead foot, stepping hard with his jab, even with his probes, right? Boom, boom, and committing to them, and not picking up on the fact that Mairis Breidis is countering them. So not stepping, and sometimes he would use the head movement, step, boom, and then shoot another shot, but not really able to utilize the information that he's being timed on his front foot to start setting traps, which is going to be very important for him. That's actually something that David Lemieux was able to do against Golovkin. Even though it didn't work, he did start setting traps on that timing, and something Canelo was able to do in the first round of their fight when Golovkin was timing him on that same stepping. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So far, it looks like I said, Usyk easy to time on the front foot, and all of Mairis Breidis' best offense came off of the lead foot timing that Usyk was giving up for free. Most of the times when Breidis was going forward and setting up his own shots, he was kind of getting pieced up, and getting hit with some big shots. Another factor was the straight left hand of Usyk, how easy he was able to time Breidis with it and basically land it almost every single time he threw it when it was a singular punch. That's because Breidis' head was kind of stuck on the line as well. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below.